like other people do, like men, female. But for us women, this is our day when we also take ourselves out. And we appreciate the husbands who allow the
confirmation that women are taking their places, that women can do what men thought they wouldn't do, that women can actually do better. It's also a message that we need more. Yes, we need more. Because if we say something like this and it's all women managing, it's an indicator that we are capable. Therefore, we actually need more space. It's our space. We need more space because we have not reached there. We have not applied parity where we need women at par with men, 50-50. It's not. We are still around 30. But we are saying that the good thing is that all the indicators are there that the country is moving us towards that. The country is charged to actually seeing that women achieve. The country is charged to see that women attain more and more and more. That is why they can leave a function like this to say, no, let us leave them do this. Let us leave them occupy their space. I know they will give us more spaces because that is what the leadership wants. That is what the leadership under the president, especially His Excellency and my commander-in-chief, has struggled to make sure that women attain their positions, and he's at it, and I know we shall be there.
Okay, tugende ko mu Uganda.
Eri omuntu obulamu bwange ng'omuntu as an individual person, ng'omuntu of course kitegeeza kulaakulana, ate buli omu ayagala bw'abeera mulimu ayagala okulaakulana, kitegeeza okulaakulana. Ng'omuntu kitegeeza emikisa okugulawo, kitegeeza nti bwe gaba mazzi masiimuufu, bwe gaba nga gabadde gasiimuuse kati gategedde. Eriizo naye eri abakyala abalala, kubanga abakyala abalala we navudde bagenda kujja mu kifo kyange balina okujja ne bakitwala, ate we nnaava wano balina okudda okitegeeza nti nze bwe mba nkula n'abalala kubanga balina byekoleddemu kubanga twagala okubalaga oba abakulembeze ab'oku ntiko baagala okulaga nti abakyala basobolera ddala. Baali balowooza nti abakyala tebasobola, nti omukyala ateeka okubeerawo n'omusajja rawundi nedda. Kino kiraga nti abakyala basobola, ate era kitulaga oba kiraga nti abakyala twagala okutuleka mu sipeesi yaffe, oya sipeesi webeera yaffe twagala okugitulekera ne tugibeeramu ne tugikoleramu ne tugyeyagaliramu. Si kuba nti ekiseera bwe tubeera omusajja abeera omukiseera bwe tubeera omusajja abeera omudda. Kitulaga nti abakyala obudde bwatuuka dda abakyala okubaleka mu spaces bwe balina okubeera, okubasiga nti nabo basobola okukola era okubaleka bakole nga tebali nga basajja tebabatadde ku maaso. Yes. Okay.
That is our representative. The regional
yakitandikiriza emabekako n'atandika n'abawala abali mu Fronasa, naye UNRA bwe yatuuka wano alina bwe ya frustrating abawala. Kakati ffe ate ne tusanga ng'olwedde amaze okutegekawo entegeka how to protect us. Yatandika ne women's wing where females gye balina okuadressinganga problems zaabwe. Kakati ffe ne tuba nga tuliwo ng'amaaso ag'okulabira ame leadership. I have identified such and such a red asobola okukola omulimu gundi. Ono ku busobozi bwe tumutendeke mu tanka ajja kuzivuga. Ono ajja kusobola kino. Kakati ffe awo gwe mulimu gwaffe tetusanze buzibu bwonna kubanga women's wing yagitandika 84 mu lwenzi oli wano. We are happy we are here. We are here with the purpose kubanga wano olutalo twalulwanirawo Kibitaawo, twalwanirawo Lubona, ndowooza mulabye ekitundu awo Lubona. Ebyo ako gonna lyali ddwaniro lyaffe. Kakati nga yamaze okukya identifyinga by then nga tulina regional waffe Nalweyiso nga yakulira abakyala lowooza era mwakiraba kaakati ffe tetusanze buzibu wabula tufuba kulaba nti tumaintaininga ekyo kyetwasangawo kisigale nga kigenda mu maaso kubanga abakyala basobola okusavinga in all capacities in this country. Bring them this happiness. So the women must be proud of our government. That is all. Director Women's Affairs, UPDF. I have 2 offices, one in Bombo, another in Mbuya.
Okay. The other one
In order to serve this nation, they must keep discipline as a core value for the army. Because without discipline, you can't serve well the nation. That is the big message for the combatants.
Thank you, sir.
That is
UPE was actually brought into
is devastated. The pastors, doctors contributed a lot to the family. To talk it wisely and encourage continuously responsibilities. We cannot get the men contribute to empower. Let our taking that empowerment.
Thank you so much for that presentation. This one. very strong. Our message is still very strong. But it's just a style, it's a method.
District, when we are hosting this auspicious occasion to mark the International Women's Day, we want to thank you for the chief guest, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, who is doing a great and recommended work to empowerment in this country. We also want to
within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is Allah. We thank you for all the good things that you have given us as a nation, that the stakeholders work in harmony with the women and girls. Empower them with knowledge and the skills to champion the innovation in areas of information and computer technology, oil and gas, oil agro-processing, financial management system, infrastructure development, health education, among others. May we live District. Your Excellency, we recognize that you have never let us down. You're always with us in celebrating this important day, which confirms your continued commitment and support to the women of Uganda. We shall forever be grateful. We wish to take this opportunity to thank the government of Uganda for recognizing and conducting the recent smooth Women Council elections last year, 2018. Your Excellency, we want to thank you for having spared your time and attended the inauguration of the newly elected National Women's Council leaders that was held at Hotel Africana on the 26th August 2018. To my fellow Women Council leaders at all levels, I congratulate you all upon your victory. We greatly appreciate our predecessors for the good leadership until last year when we held elections for new office bearers were held. At this moment, Your Excellency, allow me to introduce our new National executive committee members. With me here, I have the executive members. Let me give them a chance to introduce themselves.
With great honor, Your Excellency, all protocol observed, I am called Awuma Leader Agnes, the National Vice Chairperson for the Women Council. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, all protocol observed, and by the names of Queen Nora Rubina, Chairperson of Nakapuri District, and the Secretary of Finance, National Women Council. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, all protocol observed, I am Mastula Namatogu, the Chairperson of Kamuli District and the Publicity Secretary of the National Women's Council.
Development, Your Excellency, the women of Uganda here today and those we represent are so proud and happy of the different government initiatives under your able leadership. The social protection initiatives that include roads, rural electrification, health, education, economic empowerment, and peace, to mention but a few, have greatly contributed to the women empowerment we celebrate today. Most important to recognize, Your Excellency, is the newly completed and commissioned Women's Hospital at Molago. We are confident that even the issue of high medical charges there will soon be handled. Your Excellency, our new leadership is keenly focused at 3 program areas, including popularizing girl child education, furthering women economic empowerment, and fostering proper child upbringing and parenting to groom a generation of responsible and productive citizens. Due to the enabling social, political, and economic environment, women have become more active and engaged in different productive activities, but the issue of markets for their products still remain a challenge. According to the MasterCard 2018 Index of the Women's Entrepreneurship, 34.8% of businesses in Uganda are owned by women, making them the best in the whole world. Your Excellency, we are happy that the process of having the PPDA Act amended to conform to affirmative action is going on well. We are confident that once amended, women will directly benefit from the provision of goods and services at different levels. We also request that at least each local government gazettes one day for the women to freely access, exhibit, and sell their products in the local sub-county markets. This will not only increase their profitability, but will ensure your own Buy Uganda, Build Uganda initiative is achieved. Your Excellency, we want to thank you for recognizing the role of women in economic development of our country. We thank you, Your Excellency, for initiating the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, that is the Women Fund, which is now being implemented in all local governments across the country. Since its inception in the financial year 2015-2016, the program has supported 9,383 groups in 117,274 individual women beneficiaries. Your Excellency, however, there is an overwhelming demand from all women in the country, and therefore we pray for increased funding for this program. It has really changed lives of women in our villages where we come from. Your Excellency, with support from the program, women have been able to access affordable credit, acquire assets, contribute to education of their children, create self-employment, create wealth creation at household level, reduce dependence on men, thus reducing domestic violence and creating income levels. Others are engaged in import-export substitution and export promotion enterprises such as shoemaking, winemaking, and value addition. Your Excellency, in addition to the above, using improved incomes, women are able to access social services such as antenatal services, pay for their medical bills, and meet other essential needs. Your Excellency, however, as women of Uganda, we want to bring this to your attention, that we have seen a circular from the Ministry of Finance and Planning, Planning and Economic Development, proposing to take over management of our program from the Ministry of Gender, which is our mother ministry. Labor and Social Development, we therefore wish to inform you that we don't support any idea to take our funds to another ministry, because our mother ministry understands gender needs, gender issues, challenges, roles and responsibilities, and empowerment requirements. Your Excellency, we therefore recommend, for one, increase the funding for the women program to meet the overwhelming demand. Number two, protection of your initiative for women of Uganda, and our fund remain with Ministry of Gender, our mother ministry. Your Excellency, as mothers of this country, we are deeply concerned about the increasing cases of sexual violence, rape, defilement, female genital mutilation taking place in some parts of the country. According to the Uganda Police Force Annual Crime Report 2017, created a pool of 355,000 women leaders from the village level to national level, with a mandate of mobilizing fellow women for social, political, economic empowerment. Each one of us will be responsible for mobilizing at least 15 households in our respective villages for their active involvement in different government programs like education, economic empowerment programs, and health, among others. By the end of year 2020, Your Excellency, we shall have mobilized 4 million households across the entire country. This support, therefore, to our President for always putting the women forth and gracing this important day. We are so proud of you, Your Excellency. Long live Your Excellency, long live women of Uganda, long live Uganda, for God and my country.
Women's Day is recognized as a public holiday, a very important day. This is not the case in all countries, including my own. On International Women's Day, we celebrate the social, economic, and political achievements of women. We also reflect, advocate, and take action against persistent inequalities. It is a day to recognize the struggle that women have endured to realize their human rights. Today, equality is part of the general political discourse. Political priority is also in Uganda. This has not come about by itself. It has come about because of efforts made by women and their supporters over many years. The results have been hard-won, often reached against strong, persistent, and mistaken opposition. To make Uganda a better place to live for everyone. I have been in Uganda for almost 4 years, and I've traveled to many parts of the country. It has been and still is a great pleasure to meet women and girls across the various districts and learn about their lives and aspirations. I have met many entrepreneurial, responsible, hardworking and creative women, and they always have a good sense of humor. I met young girls and adolescents, eager to go to school and work. Some of them I have met through the Women for Women Awards initiative, an initiative by women ambassadors to Uganda and the United Nations Resident Coordinator. This initiative is a tribute to individual women who have done something outstanding.
To celebrate the 2019 International Women's Day. Under the international theme, Think Equal, Build Smart, and Innovate for Change. And the national theme, Empowering Women through Innovative Approaches to Social Protection, a prerequisite for sustainable development. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his statement today, has stated the following, I quote, "Gender equality and women's rights are fundamental to global progress in peace and security, human rights, and sustainable development." End of quote. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate International Women's Day, focusing on innovations to ensure the inclusion of women and girls and social protection programs and initiatives. On behalf of the United Nations in Uganda, I would like to congratulate you, Your Excellency, the President, the government, and the people of Uganda for your achievements in advancing social protection in this country. Allow me to highlight a few good examples. The Social Protection Policy 2015, its Gender Implementation Strategy 2017, your programs, the Social Assistance Grants for Empowerment, the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, the Youth Graduate Scheme recently launched by the Ministry, the Songhai Project, the Presidential Initiative on Wetlands, the Presidential Initiative on HIV, and the Youth Livelihoods Program. These are all clear examples of your government's commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, social protection is a human right. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights states as follows. The realization of this right is vital to guaranteeing each member of our global society the dignity and the free development of his or her personality. In a life of dignity for all, the United Nations identifies social protection as one of the success factors in achieving sustainable development.
We don't have to keep going to the wells to collect water, which is not only laborious but sometimes unhealthy to drink. We request you, sir, as I have said, to push for our irrigation scheme. There are a few schools which require plant aiding, like St. John's in Sonia Wimby Secondary School, Bishop Kalgonza Memorial Secondary School. We request for classroom construction at Wimby Secondary School and Kateo High School in the mountains. We request that you had promised us earlier on, sir, that the road, the security tourism road from Kamwenge through Dura to Wimby, and the road from Kasisi up to Kyanga, we request that these two roads be covered, sir. We request that the Kasunganyanga Banana Farmers Cooperative Society be given transport in form of a lorry to transport the bananas from the farms to the market.
For social protection. In 2013, a group of women from Koch, Koroni, and Agano villages in Noya district realized that their children were having a difficulty in accessing school. The village path, which they are used to, was so narrow, overgrown, and almost impassable, and the children nearly dropped out of school. Because of this challenge, with the help of a community development worker called Susan Ajok,
The women held meetings, discussed and made a decision to construct a road so that both villages could use it for better access to school and conducting business. About 40 women, supported by a few men, used local tools to work on this road. The work of this road construction took between 3 and 4 months, and the total distance covered was 5 kilometers. So in our villages, in our sub-counties, in our municipalities, if we find there are problems, let us not lament, let us borrow relief from these women. Your Excellency, another example of your government has constructed a suspending bridge in the mountainous region connecting Mbale and Bududa districts to ease movement, which reduces transport costs. The bridge has facilitated women's social and economic empowerment in the area. The women can access markets and their gardens and school amenities, such as schools, health centers with minimum difficulty. The girl child is now able to access schooling easily. Your Excellency, as an example, women have also made huge strides in competing for big procurement contracts. An example is the chairperson, Women Council Leader District, who is also Vice Chairperson, National Women Council, Mrs. Auma Agnes Linda, if she can stand up. Women should learn from Linda, who won a framework contract worth 3 billion shillings through the procurement process of the Prime Minister's office to supply 18,000 cows to nuts to be distributed in the different parts of the country. Your Excellency, allow me to thank the district of Munyangabo, and especially to thank Honorable Mutuzo for mobilizing her district to participate in the function. I want to thank the National Organizing Committee, chaired by my permanent secretary, for doing a job well done. I want to thank the press. I hope that the beautiful pictures of the women marching will be seen in Kampala and abroad. Allow me to also introduce Honorable Father Lokodo. Allow me also, Your Excellency, to introduce in a group SEC members. Permit me, sir, to invite you to address the gathering, but after you have spoken, sir, kindly allow 2 entertainment groups to entertain.
District, abantu bali bakora jamahano ikukumiriza kandi kusemeza bakoresha okekuru rusange ukikora ibiriza sago abanyarwanda bamanyira kwiba nibyo kugamba ngo abatoto bamanyira kwiba leo bakahunda zake tulikuwa tunasema kandi ya kuongelea kama kwa mtoto mmoja ndio maana takijira mzee kutongoza ikizidi kishaka cha district unaona mno itakabili maandire abakurasi wa parliament wengi weka mkorosomo mara wange ila kama takuja kugura mienda na kama jwara ibienda bibi hata akili kumuro mienda mirungi ngenda kumuroro waliopita na kama hiyo ni sawa awali akawapa ibienda bibi Zitakushirika basuma abarukwi ba vanira abarukwi b'omwani abarukwi ba Untold yagaragara kwaka embwa ziri Fort Portal wetumene motoka ya kuzihani kuzibera amango na terra inspector general police ndio police commander alikaa mmoja hapo hiyo ndio police commander. Was it not here? Okay. What are the issue of the car? Are they sure of it? Yes. Anyway, I raised the regional police commander. Uopereja hali ya yange regional police commander angambire ngati kwenda kutunga motoka ilikuja kuleta embwa wangu kutoka Fort Portal wikaona anaitutarisha my office lines 0714 012-661. Then is 0757-720-400. Nuora tena, nuora sema ya kwa na kuitio. So, they will wait for his number ya police. Iwaita radio kwa sala ikichora ikiwarora even tena be, which is over the border there. And I told them that the peace will be maintained. Nobody will stop the peace of Uganda. I have been getting information that is rampant theft, especially they steal crops in the gardens, vanilla, coffee, bananas. People come out tonight and cut and take away. When I have this, I said, but this is simple. Why don't you call the police? Come with the police dogs. And they trace the one who was stolen. When I checked with the other man, Olu, the policeman, they have never used the dogs. The canine unit is there in call it canine unit. Today for Porto, but in all these people have been trying, they have never used the dog. Why? Because the dogs are in Fort Portal, but they don't have the vehicle to bring them. So then I said, then what did you do? I mobilized the people. What does that mean? Just talking to them, they need a solution. But now I've been told, and the deputy president is there, they will have to bring vehicles, even if they need one or two, so that the police, the dogs can be deployed immediately once somebody looks in something in his garden. Because then you can trace where the thief went. It could be that the thieves are not from the village, they are coming from far. That means they walk from the garden to the road. then we know that he jumped on a border or in a car and went away. Now, I have never believed in the use of roadblocks. Whenever there is a round order issue, or even a terrorism issue like the killing of Abiriga and the killings in Kampala which were going on, I never use roadblocks. Where one person makes a mistake and you inconvenience 10,000 because you are looking for one. I said, no, this is not my way of working. My way of working is to go, be patient until I get the jigger. Because when you get the jigger in your foot, you don't cut the foot. You go slowly until you get the jigger. So, I briefed them in our local language what we are doing in Kampala. We are rolling out the cameras and they are already helping there in Kampala. And they will eventually come here on the main roads. So that means what? Even if the thief steals from the garden, walks to the road, jumps on a vehicle or a motorcycle, from our cameras on the main road we shall know which vehicles came in this area around that time. That will help us. But besides that, you remember my speech in Parliament last year when we had this problem. We are about to implement the plan of having electronic monitors in all cars and in all Pikis. Installed at the cost of the owner. We are not going to, the government is not going to buy this. But at the condition of licensing, you shall have to have an electronic monitor in the car and in the motorcycle. So that means the net now is woven around the thief. From the garden to the road, we trace you by the dogs. When you go to the road, in case you jump on the border or a motorcycle vehicle, we shall now know, both from the electronic monitoring and from the camera. I was telling them, don't panic, don't be discouraged, because some people are beginning to be discouraged. Why should we waste time when these things come and take what we have produced? This program will stamp out all this petty theft, but also deal with the most serious criminals. Then I talked about the infrastructure. I told them about this road from Fort Porto all the way to Shady, which are now being reconstructed. All the money is available. I told them from Kasese to Hima, from Hima to Katundu, from Katundu to Shady. The money is available and they are working on the roads. Then I said that now that we have worked on the infrastructure and also the electricity, that's why there was the other argument. Because I don't know have said electricity has reached everywhere. Then the other people said, no, it hasn't. So we have to go into the interrogation. Where has it reached? In one sub-county called Kabonera, it has got to the coffee factory, which is in the Kabonera sub-county, but it has not got to the sub-county headquarters, which is 1.5 kilometers away. So according to Mwesige, Kabonera has electricity now, which is true. But according to the Wananchi, but it has not reached the headquarters, so it hasn't reached. So this is the argument we are in here. Then I advise you, and that's why you the leaders, you should do land communication. All this argument, you can see just land communication. That's what I have to say. How many some counties are there in Nyangabo? There are 7 and 5 town councils. And it seems all of them have electricity reaching a corner of each one of them. But according to the 180, if it has not arrived at the headquarters, then it has not arrived. So therefore, in the communication, you should make it clear. The sub-counties, the parishes, the villages. For instance, in Minyangabo, how many villages do we have in the whole of Minyangabo? So many. How many of them have got electricity and how many of them have not yet got? And how many of them cannot get? Because sometimes getting electricity from the grid is more expensive than having another solution. For instance, solar power may be cheaper. So you should have a plan clear in your head which you communicate to the people. Because if you are going to take grid power to a very remote area where the transmission costs are very high, like Karangara, for instance. That's why we say Karangara, we shall use solar power there. Not necessarily grid power. Electricity is electricity. It doesn't matter whether it is from hydro or from solar. We should have a plan for the whole area according to the economics of each solution. So, now that there is very significant development, that's when I was talking about wealth creation. And I told them about commercial agriculture. Of course, there the problem now is this steel in the villages which you are going to handle. Dairy farming, fish farming in the Greater Lakes, then industry, factories. We are going to have an industrial park in Chengogo and also in the Kasese, like we have in Namangwe, like we have in Kapeka. That's why Jerusalem is here. And mining, timber mines, and also the oil in Semiki. Then I told them about the services, especially tourism. And I told them that tourism brings in more money than coffee. So they should support tourism. They should not see tourism as a competitor to growing sweet potatoes. We have got enough land where we are growing sweet potatoes. The conservation areas are much smaller. This perimeter is like 2,000 square kilometers. Maximum falls is like, I think it's like 3,000. That's about 5,000 to 6,000. Next time when I speak, I will get you the total area of the conservation area. The conservation area is much smaller than the area we are using for crops and cows. And yet, this small area is bringing in more money than the coffee, for instance. So in terms of the national interest, everybody should understand the importance of conservation. So we don't have a time of war. Leaders are saying conservation, others are saying no, we grow sweet potatoes in the national park and in the forest reserves. That should not be there. Everybody should know what is good for this country, so that we don't have to waste time on that type of war. I'm not going to raise my cows in the national park. Why do I defend the park? I defend the park because it is very important for our children, for our future. It has got more potential than many of the industries. And all of us should understand this so that we don't have to to have a tug of war on something which is clear. Then the other source of wealth is ICT, which needs to be explained to our people if there is time. Like, for instance, BPOs, business processes outsourcing, where an accountant can be here in Fort Portal, does bookkeeping for companies in the US, and transmits the work through the internet to the companies, and is paid here. That wealth should also be explained to our people. Then I commented on the issue of the women council leaders and the LC1, the LCs, the leaders in the LC system, and the youth councils. As you heard the Honorable Mtuzo saying that the women leaders in the women council system are 350,000 in the whole country. Then you can add the LC, the people in the LC structure. Then you can add the youth in the youth structure. Then the ones in the structure of the disabled. And then the workers and the leagues of the party, the NRM. Now, all these are leaders. Can we pay them the salary? If you try to do that, Uganda will go bankrupt. Because the numbers are big. Therefore, the only solution is to have a leadership circle. Which government contributes money so that they can have their own bank and solve their problems.